Friends, welcome to this new episode. In this episode, we will discuss about DRF filters. So, particularly for how we can use it for material master as well as business partner, there is a little difference. That is why I would like to do this session to show you how best we can apply these DRF filters for the custom requirements. Yeah. So there are two types of filters in DRF. One is, we apply main filter, and second one is segment filter. So main filter is to filter out the master data object. Let's say that you want to completely filter out the material being replicated to the target system. Then we call it as main filter. Segment filter, in other words, we use to filter the object in the segment level. Let's say that the material is extended to more than one plant, that is, 0010 and then 0020, and then you wanted to send only 20 to the target system. In this case, we will apply segment filter. So this is this is about main and segment filter. Now let's see how we can do this for a master and material master. So let's say that the requirement is to create a custom filter for your use case. Then you can go to DRF IMG and then enhance default settings for outbound implementation, and then click on define outbound implementations. And then let's take the material master, which is nothing but 194_3. And then the main filter is mentioned here. So as you see here, okay, yeah, this is the main filter object. And then to see the segment filter, just click on the assign segment filter objects, and then you can see all the segment filters. So on the plant level, on the sales level, and storage level, and then on the valuation level. Let's say that you wanted additional attribute to filter the material on the main filter level. That means you have to create a main filter. You have to go to this filter object and then include your own filter. So go to DRF IMG and then the enhanced default settings for outbound implementation, and then click on the define filter objects, and then go to the main filter, and then there is only one main filter is possible for one outbound implementation, so you can't have multiple main filter. So select this and then go to assign filters, and then you can create your own filter and then copy this class. So this class is normally extended to the interface if DRF filter. So you have to extend your filter class with this interface, otherwise it won't work. You can copy this class and then create your own filter. Let's say that you wanted to filter based on the laboratory. Yeah. So it's I don't like enhancing this structure. Instead, what I will do is I will create a new entry for custom requirements and then put it depends on you whether it is a simple filter or it requires a complex filter. If it is a complex filter, then you can you can control it using a filter class. So normally it could be a complex filter, so you could control it using a filter class, and you can copy this filter class for your requirement and then adjust it. Okay. And then as you see, there are many types of filter types. Yeah, one is a simple filter. Simple filter means it's a direct filter. Like for an example, you wanted to filter, attribute, and that attribute is part of the table. Then it is a simple filter. So there is no coding involved. System will automatically perform this filter because you send the table and you mention which field needs to be filtered out. and then the system will filter out. It does not require any coding. The outbound implementations has its own filter mechanism that calls the DRF filters, and DRF filters apply such setting. But if you require coding, then it requires a complex filter. So you have to use explicit complex filter, and then you have to mention your own filter class. There you can apply all the logic. So implicit filter and filter check, these are all part of outbound implementation filters. So if you wanted to use, you can use it. Otherwise, you can simply ignore it. Yeah. So this is how you do for the material master. If you wanted to create a new filter object, then to filter complete material being replicated to the target system, then create a new entries, and then create your own filter parameter by copying the structure, and then include your laboratory, and then remove all of the things, and then create your own filter class copying the existing filter class. This is for the main filter. Now coming to the segment filter. So we have already seen here so yeah, so you see that this is all the segment filters on the sales level, valuation level, storage level. You see the thing here is the table name. Table name is mentioned here. So there is no special complex filter, needs to be applied. Yeah, so if I go inside, see it is all explicit simple filter because this structure contains the attributes, and these attributes are part of the table itself. So at runtime, the filter handovers the table, and then the DRF filter, there is already a logic, and by standard that filter that checks and filters these objects. So we don't need any complex filter. So if you wanted to have one more filter, then you can simply create new entries. Let's say if it is based on sales, sales segment, you wanted to apply filter, then you simply go in insert and then create your own filter. You can create your own filter and then include your structure. Yeah. Otherwise, there is also an option that you can also create an append structure here and then include your own attribute. That is also an option. Otherwise, you can also create another filter and then put a structure, and system will handle it. Yeah. So this is for the segment filter in Material Master. It is very straightforward for Material Master. So there is no complex involved because here we pass the table directly, and based on the structure we mentioned, it filtered out the object. And only for the main filter, when you check the structure, it has the fields from different table. For an example, where the plant data comes from the Marcy, LGORT comes from the MARDI table. So they put a complex filter. In this complex filter, they apply a logic to filter the material master in a different table level. So if you go to the apply filter, you can see all the logic. So they build a complete filter framework, and then they normally they build a where condition, and then they pause, and then they get the selected products. Within the selected products, they apply logic for Mara and MBKE and Marseille, etc. So if your logic involves applying a filter on the Marseille level, then you can create your own complex filter and follow the same logic, and in your custom filter class, remove all the unwanted things. I basically copy this class and then remove unwanted thing and adjust based on my attributes. Yeah. So this is for the material master, and it is very straightforward, as I said. Only for a main object, it requires a complex filter, and for the other segment object, it is on the table level. So you just have to create a structure and include the field needs to be based on that the mass, the plant data or sales data will be filtered out. But for the business partner, it is little bit different, and that is the reason I would like to create this video. If you go out and let's say here, 194_3. So, but normally for the business partner, we use 9863. I think 986_3. And this is the main filter. Let's see what's in the main filter. Define filter object. Okay, so this is the main filter. In the main filter, you see there are so many filters. Yeah, and then there are filter class. So if you have a custom requirement, I had a requirement from customer where they wanted to filter based on the combination group, that is sales area, and then distribution, sales area, and then division, and then I think distribution channel. So normally, so based on the group combination, this is possible. For an example, I want to replicate only if the sales area is 001, and then division is 01, and then the distribution channel is 00. So only this is possible in BD64. You can create a group. And that is possible. But in the DRF framework, it is not possible. DRF framework provides generalized filter concept, so you cannot really group the fields. That is the problem with the DRF framework. And that is why they provided this logic called as a simple filter and complex filter. So if you require such grouping, the combination, then you have to proceed with the complex filter. So you have to handle it in the class. So what I'm trying to say is, if you go to DRF DRF, the filter. Okay, so these are the activated replication model. And let's take this one and go inside. Okay, you see there are so many, you can create multiple filters. So what happens is, you see purchasing category is 001 something, or purchasing category is 2. Yeah. So our system will understand is replicate this business partner if it has a customer account group 003 or purchasing category either 1 or 2. That is how system will understand. But let's say you wanted to group it. Customer account group should be 003 and purchasing category should be 1. Only then you replicate this particular customer to the target system. Then it is not possible to achieve it using this WebDAM application. So here you can't put that logic. So this is the same for a segment filter. So if you wanted to group the fields, it is not possible. Then you have to go to the complex filter. So normally between the same field, for an example, if I include one more BP role, so it means system identifies that either this role or this role, then included, or let's say that I put okay, only group role is there. Let's take something complex. Yeah, maybe the sales organization. So when I say like sales organization is 00001, and then the distribution channel is 01, and then division is 00. And let's say you have another the division or a same sales organization but with a different division. So now the system here won't group it. As soon as it finds this sales organization, this combination or this combination, it will replicate. But let's say that you wanted to send only for this group, just to group it. But but the system, as I said, if it finds either this one or this one or this one matches the concept, then it will replicate. Yeah. So but you don't want to do it. You wanted to replicate only if this group is there in the only for this group, not the other groups. Yeah. So in this case, you need to apply the complex filter. Okay. So with the same field, it is like organization. Let's say sales organization is going to be 10110. So system will understand either or this one or this one with this combination. So it will replicate. Yeah. But you cannot group it. You can't say this one with this one or this one, either this one with this one or this one with this one. But you can't really, maybe I just put it two, so maybe that's why it's confusing. And let's say that, yeah, system will replicate this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So with the same field, it is R condition. With the different field, it is an AND condition. So let's say that you wanted to replicate only for this group, this sales organization, distribution channel, and then division. So if you wanted such particular group, let's say that you put a division also 01. So in this case, it will replicate all combinations between this OR condition and then this AND condition, and either this is or either division is 00 or 01. But let's say that your requirement is replicate sales organization 001 only if it is with the sales distribution channel 01 and then division 01. Yeah, such grouping combination is not possible with this application. Yeah, because it will replicate based on all the combinations. So with the same field, it is R condition, either this, this. Then look for the distribution channel, either this, and division is either this, then it will replicate. So grouping is not possible. Such complex requirements require coding in the DRF framework. So this is what the requirement I added from one of the customer, that they wanted to replicate the data to the C4C only if the sales area is created with this combination. And this is possible basically using BD64, but using DRF web application, you can't apply this logic. So we have created our own custom filtering, and this is a little bit different than the material master. So that's why I would like to discuss here. So if you go back, so you know that this is the main filter object. So copy this. I think we are already here. So now if you wanted to create your own main filter, you can click new entries and then put maybe Z1 something, and then create your own structure and then copy one of the replication filter class. So I basically copy this one. So you can copy this one and then adjust your own logic. So if you go to this class, they put the logic of how they filter it. So this could give you an idea how to implement your own custom logic. So here you can do the same thing, and this will help you to filter the main object. You just have to create a new entries and then use a naming convention starting from Z1, and then put your own structure. And then if it is implicit filter or explicit, normally explicit complex filter, put the filter and then filter class. This is for the main filter. But let's talk about the segment filter. So I go to the segment filter objects, and these are the segment filter. So let me copy one of those and then go inside the segment filter and then check this one. So you see, this is not actual table of business partner role. This is a business partner customizing table. Yeah, this is all customizing table, but this is all not actual company code table or something. So here you see they just filter the business partner roles from the let's say that you put one role in the DRF framework in the filter DRF, and then they try to figure out, okay, at runtime how many roles are then allowed. Yeah, so the business partner concept is completely different. Okay, so it's similar way. If you have a requirement, you can also put create your own segment filter here, and then put the customizing table as you require. And then to check how they apply the logic, can go back to the outbound implementation class. Okay, so here is important. Go to, I think, multi or sign. I think it's multi filters, and then you see here for the node filter. So this is where they're filtering for the business partner. But in the for the material master, it's more like the DRF filter. They call the standard filter framework, and that applies the logic. But for the business partner, they have the method. They implemented the logic within this method. So for node filter, you can check how they're filtering it. So yeah. So basically, they find out which roles are allowed, and then they are looping it and checking in the business partner if that role is, the allowed, except the allowed role. Rest of the roles they are ignoring it. You see, they are deleting it. So this is how they are doing the filter for the business partner. It's same way they're handling the identification, address usage, etc., etc. And then in the customer, and this is all on the business partner level. And let's say on the customer and the supplier level, then they are calling the baddie, and using the baddie they are applying this logic. So this is the baddie. If you go to this baddie, you see the implementation already. So these all the implementation will be called at runtime, and then apply the filters on the customer and then the vendor level. So for an example, sales organization is on the customer sales area level. So they are applying such logic using the baddie, because filtering sales data also requires filtering on a multiple level. Like they have to filter the partner functions and tax details, etc. For that case, they are doing it in the baddie level. So particularly DRF node filter. So here they are applying these filters. You see, this is how they are applying the KNB1 filter, KNBB filter, everything. Okay. So if you have a requirement that you wanted to apply the filter based on the groups, so these filters is not based on the group. It is just like like this concept. If you apply a filter in this concept, then it they apply the filter in this class. If you check, they will read these data and then apply the filter. But if you have a filter based on the group, then what you need to do is you have to create one more baddie implementation. So you have to create one more baddie implementation, and then you can copy one of those class. So you see the implementation class. Sorry, here there is already an implementation class. So you can copy this implementation class, and then you can put the filter based on the group. Yep. So this is the difference. For material, it is straightforward because it is filtered on the table level. But for the business partner, it is a little bit different. We pass the customizing table, and then we find out which are allowed roles, etc. And then we are filtering out in the CTBSBP extern the final object. final return object. So if you have filters for the filters on the customer and supplier level, then you can create the bad implementations, and then, like, in this method you can apply the filter, and you can copy this implementing class and then adjust based on your requirement. And let's say that you want this is for the filter on the supplier and customer level, right? So this body, okay. But if you wanted to filter based on on the business partner level, then you can also do use the same body and then do the filter. You don't need to enhance this method and then include one more method and call your own class and apply the filter. Here anyway it calls the body. Yeah. So in this body it passes complete boop object, boopa data. So what you can do is, even if it doesn't matter whether it is a filter on the customer level or supplier level, this you can reuse this body. You don't need to enhance anything. Instead, just create one more body definition and then copy the existing implemented class of one of the one of the body already implemented, and then adjust for your requirement. So both on the business partner main level as well as supplier and customer level, you can apply the filter using this body definition in the business partner. Okay. So for a business partner, so just to wrap it up, yeah. For the main filter, there is always one main filter, and if you wanted, also custom requirement to add one more filter, just go to the main filter and add a structure, and then based on your requirement, either include a simple filter or a complex filter. Normally it is complex filter. If it is a complex filter, there is already a classes, and you can copy that and then adjust it based on your requirement. This is for the main filter, and this main filter concept is same, almost same for both the business partner and material master. There is no difference. Only for the segment filter material, it is very straightforward. We pass the table and then our structure has the field, field from the table. Therefore, the system will automatically applies the filter, and there is not specific coding required. So most cases, the segment filter will be simple filter. But if you have complex requirements, then you can also create a complex filter. But for the business partner, the segment filter is you have to do it using the body definition. This particular body definition. So this is to highlight this difference. I made this video, and I hope this helped you guys. And if you guys had some issues with DRF filters, you can also put a note in the comment section so that I will try to make another video. Thank you guys, and wish you all had a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.